Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to our signature event at the India Today Group, the Business Today India at 100 Summit.
When we started this summit as a key initiative of what we call the BT Multiverse last year, it was conceived as a platform for ideas, suggestions, and solutions as India heads towards 2047. Ladies and gentlemen, over the course of the day, we will have several eminent speakers and panelists, policymakers, corporate leaders, and thinkers who will discuss the opportunities and road ahead for India over the next 25 years.
The launch of our special Business Today magazine issue dedicated to India's G20 presidency. We are honored to have Shri Nitin Gadkari ji with us today to launch this issue, a man dedicated to India's development and innovation.
Hello and a very warm welcome once again. Good morning, namaskar, adab. One of your ambitions, Gadkari ji, as someone we describe here as the builder of modern India. When India is 100 years as a republic, what will our road infrastructure look like?
Our national highway road infrastructure will be equal to the USA standard. So I am very much confident about it. For example, in Delhi, we are just working, Delhi and out of Delhi part, that we are working on the project of 65,000 crores. I've got the list of every project. And I am confident that we will complete all the projects. After that, from Delhi to Dehradun will be 2 hours, Delhi to Haridwar 1.5 hours, Delhi to Jaipur 2 hours, Delhi to Chandigarh 2.5 hours, Chandigarh to Manali presently take 7 to 8 hours, it will be 3 hours. Then Delhi to Amritsar 4 hours, Delhi to Katra 6 hours, Delhi to Srinagar 8 hours, Delhi to Mumbai 12 hours, then Chennai to Bangalore 2 hours, Bangalore to Mysore is already completed, is 1 hour. And in which we are developing the road infrastructure, particularly starting from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. मैं हाईवे को इलेक्ट्रिक हाईवे बना रहा हूँ.
पिछली बारी जब आए थे तो मैंने आपसे पूछा था कि टोल से एग्जेम्पशन बहुत लोगों को मिल रहा है. Since then, have you had any chance to ensure that everyone pays toll in this country?
सर मैंने 10 साल में एक को भी कंसेशन नहीं दिया. मैं साफ बोल रहा हूँ, कोई कंसेशन मिलेगा नहीं. मैं आपकी बचत करके दूंगा, आपका समय बचेगा, आपका फ्यूल बचेगा, और if you want good services, you have to pay for it.
Technological leader who's really been at the cutting edge of the revolution that we're seeing in artificial intelligence. Can we have a very warm round of applause as we welcome to the stage Mr. Brad Smith, the Global President of Microsoft. Could you, Mr. Smith, start this conversation by giving everyone seated here a sense of what's coming? We've already been wowed by everything that AI has thrown up so far, ChatGPT 4, everything that Microsoft is showcasing. In your view, from where you're sitting, where are we heading to next?
It's pretty amazing when you think that it was really just the last week in November that ChatGPT was released and people started to imagine what it could do. And I think that first month was all about, oh my gosh, this stuff actually works. And by January or February, people were really excited. It was like, oh my God, this could save the world. And by April, everybody in many countries was looking at each other and saying, oh my Lord, it's going to destroy us all. And it's been a roller coaster. But as I travel the world, and I appreciate the business audience in this room,
let's spend a moment on the key aspect of regulation of AI. India has just about passed a data privacy law. I'm curious on your thoughts around that.
India, I think, has done with it and how that connects with where AI and potentially AI regulation is going. First, I think the government of India did the right thing by pausing a year ago, taking time to really think it through. I personally think that what emerged is the right thing for India. Actually, I think it's an interesting model for the world because it protects fundamental privacy needs, the rights of people to have consent, to consent to the use of their data. I think it actually improves upon concepts that in many respects have been used around the world, this notion of having a data fiduciary and a fiduciary duty if you are getting data from someone to deliver a service to them. But it also does it in a way that enables data to move. And I think especially for an economy like India, where people move across borders, goods move across borders, services created here, including software code, move across borders. None of that can happen without data being able to move as well. So you take that pragmatic approach to what I'll call an ability to uphold fundamental principles. I sense just from the conversations I'm having here that fundamental philosophy is something that is taking root here for AI as well. I think that's a good thing. Now we'll have to segue to the new issues, the new principles. We published this past week what we call a blueprint for governing AI and what it means for India. And I do think the public is looking for us, perhaps first and foremost, to ensure safety, to ensure that AI remains under human control, to have, as we call it, safety breaks if it's going to be used to manage or control critical infrastructure, to address a variety of other issues that are important. But I think a real focus on innovation, balanced with these regulatory needs, is going to be of fundamental importance to the Indian economy.
I'm privileged to have with me the man who is driving this entire G20 and B20 meetings which are taking place today and over the next few days in Delhi. The Prime Minister spoke extremely eloquently about how he feels this is a great opportunity for India to sort of drive the new world order, sort of be a pivot and ensure that you play a critical role in shaping the new world order. Could you elaborate on some of those aspects where you think this presidency will leave an indelible mark?
There are a couple of trends which are taking place in the world. It's important to understand the paradigm shift that is taking place. One is when G20 started in 2008, the developed world was contributing over about 75% of the global GDP. The developing countries were contributing only about 24-25%. If you look at it now, the share of the developed world has come down very radically. It's about 55%. The share of the developing countries has increased very substantially. What is happening is, as the IMF has rightly said, this year 80% of the global growth is going to come from the global south countries. The global south is going to contribute to 80% of the growth. And in the next 2 decades, two-third, and it's quite incredible, two-thirds of the growth is going to come from global south. And this is going to happen because the demographics are in favor of global south. This young population, the population in the western part of the world is aging, and if growth is going to come, all the growth is going to come from global south, then you need greater flow of financial resources for the global south. Unfortunately, the international financial architecture and the multilateral financing institutions which are created post-World War II are not designed for many of these issues. The second trend that is taking place is that there is a movement away from the big tech digitally to models which are open source, open API, interoperable model which allow for greater innovation and allow for private-public play, which India has demonstrated through identity, banking, fast payments, etc. And the third key trend that is taking place is that there is a massive, because of climate action, there's a massive transition taking place in terms of just an inclusive energy transition. So India is at the forefront of all these 3 transitions. We are driving young demographics, we are driving global growth, we are driving digital infrastructure through digital public infrastructure, and we are driving renewable energy, and we are driving green hydrogen, which will replace fossil fuel. So today we import 200 billion worth of fossil fuel. Our aim is to become an exporter of clean energy by 2047. And these 3 trends will really redefine the world of tomorrow.